Hello and welcome to The Telescope. Every week we bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market of the world. Today's car is the Smart One. Trust me, I'm just as disappointed as you are when I realized the Smart One is a compact SUV rather than a real Smart. However, this one under the skin is actually quite cleverly packaged, if not the Smart that we want. I think we can all agree that the Volkswagen ID.3 is kind of the default compact electric vehicle. But the Smart One is actually only marginally bigger than the ID.3. It's only 5mm longer, 13mm wider, and of course, being an SUV, 87mm taller. The overall weight of these two are actually quite similar. The Smart is only 45 kilos heavier than the ID.3, and you gain all that headroom in the second row. Looking much smarter now, isn't it? The interior space is where the packaging of this car really shines. This has a rear cabin that no car of this size has had before. The front seat is set at my driving position. I'm 5'11" and I can comfortably sit behind myself. It's wide, open, generous, bright. This really is enough for a family of four, and this car is only 4.27 meters long. The front cabin is where you can really feel the Mercedes influence. There's no fancy materials, but the design is fresh, modern, forward-looking, and in many respects does have a Mercedes sort of vibe in here. You have to remember this car is priced at $32,000 US. For that price, you get a 270 horsepower single motor mounted at the rear axle. Range is rated at 560 km CLTC, that's roughly 440 km WLTP and about 240 miles in EPA. The performance is just about right for this kind of car. At 6.7 seconds to 100 kph, the Smart One feels reasonably athletic. There is a crazy twin-motor BRABUS version that can do 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, and I don't recommend that model, because that version simply added a motor to the front axle with no readjustment to the chassis. This chassis is perfectly fine for this kind of fast urban SUV, but for a 248 horsepower monster, it's too soft and has too much body roll. So what about the dislikes? First point is its infotainment system. It has a big screen and powered by the Qualcomm 8155 chip should have the processing power as well. However, this is probably the slowest, most unresponsive 8155 system that I've ever used. It's so slow to the point that I have to look up the spec sheet to confirm that this system really is powered by the Qualcomm 8155. And the user interface is kind of all over the place. I understand Smart is a younger, more energetic, forward-looking brand. However, some of the design in this system is just inconsistent and confusing. I'll give you one example. You can connect your Nintendo Switch and use this screen as your gaming screen. However, to do that, you need to somehow rotate this globe on the center display. I mean, why don't you just put a simple button to it? And a voice assistant and all of these icons for the weather app all looks kind of pixelated. Talking about a voice command system, this is a long way off if you want to compare to the industry benchmarks, the Xpeng, Neo and Li Auto. Smart really need to make their voice command system smarter. I know I keep getting on about the voice command system, but in these electric vehicles with so few physical buttons, voice command really is the fastest way to use some of the functions. Second dislike is the regen in this car. It is three-way adjustable and there is an even stronger e-pedal mode, which is effectively one-pedal driving. But if you set the regen to strong, which is what I've done now, after you lift off the throttle, there is a 0.3 to half a second delay. Let's see, I've lifted off the throttle now, and now it starts to slow down. I mean, this delay just makes it difficult to control the distance to the cars in front. The official explanation is that by having this delay, this is more friendly to passengers that have not experienced EVs before. But I'm sorry, I don't buy that theory at all. Look at other traditional manufacturers like the Volkswagen ID series. It has no regen by default, but it also has a very well calibrated strong regen mode. But all of my complaints are on the software. Hardware wise, I really do think this is a very complete package. All of the problems I mentioned before can be fixed through an over-the-air update. and Geely has recently acquired Meizu, a very well-known phone company, and is already making big noises about the Fly Me Auto system. So hopefully, with Meizu coming in, all of this could be fixed. The embarrassing thing about the Smart 1 is that it's arguably too good, to the point that it has made the lackluster Mercedes electric vehicles look completely obsolete. Just look at the Mercedes EQA, a real Mercedes with a three-pointed start. That is priced at $45,000, a whopping $15,000 more than the Smart 1. With 70 horsepower less, 10% longer range, yeah, I'll give it that. Similar interior space, but it's a full 15 centimeter longer. And that is the bigger picture I want to get across here. Smart, by using the SEA platform from Geely and effectively engineered by Geely, is now light years ahead of its mother brand Mercedes. The Mercedes EQA only sold 113 units in China in October, but the Smart 1 sold 1,629 units, and that is only the second month of delivery of the Smart. The factory is nowhere near full capacity. One of the cameramen at the company tried to buy one recently, and I was told if he put down an order now, he would have to wait 5 months to pick up his car. The Geely SEA platform has the potential to become the MQB platform of the electric vehicle generation. The Smart 1 is only a glimpse of that. I just hope that one day when Smart has sold enough of these, they can be allowed to recreate an electric version of the real Smart. Because Smart, in my mind and in many people's mind, still is that urban posh super mini. That is smaller, lighter, requires less energy and material to produce in the first place, and uses less power to run. I mean, this one is clever, but that is the Smart we know. Maybe one day. That is all from this episode of The Telescope. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing, more videos coming along very soon.